Welcome back to Lobby Talks. Today's episode is Tulsa's cultural moment, from local art to global impact. I'm sitting down today with Chris Rogers, Operations Manager of Greenwood Rising. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Carla. I'm pleased to be here.
Wonderful. Well, let's dive right into it. We're going to start with a big question. What is the main importance of preserving the legacy of Black Wall Street?
That is a very big question. Very important. At Greenwood Rising, we're very fortunate to be one of several stakeholders in the community, working hard every day to preserve the legacy of Black Wall Street. There are other stakeholders doing amazing work across Greenwood and across Tulsa, and I would be negligent if I didn't give big props to all the other organizations that are doing such good work. And we're talking about decades-long work. At Greenwood Rising, we do our part. We open our facility and we welcome guests from across the nation and across the world. We have international visitors, national, statewide, and local. And every day we know that the importance of this story is a worldwide importance. The story of Greenwood, the story of Black Wall Street, the legacy. It's way more than just Tulsa. It's way more than just Oklahoma. If I went to work and just walked out on the floor on a random afternoon, I might bump into someone from Germany, and they talk about the importance, why they traveled to Greenwood Rising, what they want to learn, why they're here. It really humbles me to be able to play just a tiny role, a tiny part in this much bigger endeavor. But the importance is that the stories need to be told. The legacy needs to be preserved. The legacy needs to be honored. The legacy needs to be respected. And the legacy is so inspiring. The legacy inspires me every day to do what I do. I hope it inspires everybody that works in Greenwood to do what they do. And I love seeing the impact on everybody's faces as they come to our facility.
That's amazing. You touched on something there that it's not just about Tulsa. And I think that's seen within the exhibits as well. You're not just getting a narrow view of what Black Wall Street is. It's not just Tulsa, it's Oklahoma as a whole. And what brought these entrepreneurs to Oklahoma in the first place?
Right. The opportunity that was there. Again, at Greenwood Rising, we tell the story not just of the Tulsa Race Massacre. Of course, that figures in prominently to the experience when you come through Greenwood Rising. But we tell the story of the full background of the community, how it was created, the people that created Greenwood, why they came here, how they did it. We celebrate that spirit every day. The story of Greenwood, of course, does not end with the massacre. It's about rebuilding, it's about growing, it's about perseverance, it's about overcoming obstacles, and we celebrate all of that at Greenwood Rising when we seek to tell these stories.
I certainly see that when I'm there. You know, it's not just about how Greenwood, Archer, and Pine was back then. It's how it is now, how it exists now. And then when you see that all and then you go out into the community, what are you going to do next? How are you going to support these businesses, you know?
Right.
Speaking of storytelling, what role does storytelling play in creating an emotionally resonant experience for your guests, and how is that integrated into your facility?
Well, storytelling is the forefront of what we do at Greenwood Rising. We are a Black Wall Street History Center. We seek to inspire our guests to learn more, to think more, to act more, to engage more. And I think that the storytelling aspect is critical to that. When you come to a facility, you're going to be impacted by what you learn, how you learn it. We love to hear from our guests that, the first time I heard from a guest that complimented on the fact that we have multiple ways to learn at our facility. That really impacted me the first time I heard that particular compliment, because I hadn't thought about it in that capacity. But, we've got traditional exhibits that you would find in a museum. We also have a lot of video exhibits. We have virtual reality experiences. And combined, it offers something for, we believe, everybody, young, old, no matter where you're at in this journey. We want to welcome you to our facility, and hopefully you can come away having learned something and being more inspired.
I couldn't agree more. I think the exhibits are very dynamic. I mean, I had an emotional reaction walking across those train tracks inlaid in the ground. That's incredible. And the videography and the the overall displays it really resonates with you, and people of all ages, people of all backgrounds, they can experience it in different ways. That's very unique.
Very excited to be able to offer the quality of facility that we do. Our facility was designed by the same designer that created the National 9/11 Monument in New York City, and we hear every week from our guests. They are impacted by their experience here. They're moved by their experience at Greenwood Rising. And when we hear that, I know that we're doing the work that we're supposed to be doing.
That's wonderful. And speaking of your guests, can you share some insight onto who visits Greenwood Rising, and specifically, where are they coming from?
A little over a year ago, we got our new point of sale system. We're really excited about that. And so now, more than a year later, we're able to run year-over-year reporting, which is exciting for me, living in data and statistics. So we'll have fun a lot of times and do what we call a zip code report, because we can print out a report that literally shows a push pin on the global map of everybody that visited Greenwood Rising for that day or that week or that month. And I kid you not, it's phenomenal. The attendance is about 40,000 a year. We're very grateful for that number. We're excited to see the level of interest. And again, people visit us in a week from Coweta to Copenhagen. And it's just phenomenal. Again, like I mentioned earlier, the diversity of the people that come through here is very exciting. And it's important for us to see that what we're offering, what we're putting forth to the public, is something that the public wants, and they're finding good value in it. So we're very humble.
You get so many guests from all over, and they get to engage and learn. That's wonderful. Yeah. So how do you balance the emotional weight of the history with the need to create a welcoming and accessible environment for guests, especially when you're going through that exhibit, when you're looking at those relics, it hits you hard. How do you respond to that trauma?
That's an important facet of what we do at Greenwood Rising. We do tell the full stories of Black Wall Street. We tell the stories that need to be presented, and they're very challenging material discussed in Greenwood Rising. And you're right, it is impactful. We see everything in terms of reactions from our guests. There are sometimes tears. There are sometimes shocked faces. Again, as I mentioned earlier, different people are on different levels of their journey with this subject. Some people are learning about it in real life for the first time, and you see that on their faces inside Greenwood Rising. So some people are just shocked, and they have a lot of questions. And so the balance can be challenging sometimes. As employees, we work in this environment every day. And me as a boss, of course, I've got a lot of people that report to me, and it's my responsibility to see to their needs as staff, because they're working in this environment as well. I think we're very fortunate that the quality of staff members that we have, the people that are there, our docents, our front team, our leadership team, everybody's there because of the passion that they have to do this work. And we were talking about that subject earlier. And I think we're so fortunate that the team we have in place is so dedicated to this mission. It makes things easier, and that passion translates well to the guests. So we do see the importance of being there for our guests as they experience what they're experiencing in the facility. And at the same time, the overall experience is often one of inspiration. Guests tell us that the takeaway from Greenwood Rising that they feel is not one of negativity or feeling overwhelmed, but one of opportunity. What can they do now with this new information that they've learned? How can they help deal with these issues, or maybe make an individual contribution to making things better?
And I love that you invite them to share those ideas. At the very end, you say, yes, what are you going to do next? Now that if you did just learn this for the first time, or maybe you are a descendant of these people, what are you going to do next after experiencing this? That's how you end it there. And that is a really beautiful moment there, to be like, you've seen it all, you've felt it all, you've learned their stories, all these individuals, and at the end you ask, what are you going to do next? How is this going to change you?
Well, thank you for pointing that out. We're really we are proud of that part of the exhibit for sure, and it has such a strong impact. At the end of the exhibit, guests are asked, basically, now that you've learned all of this, you've gone through this experience, you understand these stories, what are you going to do with this new knowledge? It's such an impactful part of the experience because we've gathered more than 10,000 replies from individual guests. These are displayed on a massive experience for all the other guests, and so each individual person is able to look and see, wow, look at all these other examples from other people just like me that have been through this exact place and experienced this. Because again, everybody's at a different place with this. For some people, they might say, well, I'm going to commit to reading more. I want to learn more. There's a lot more to learn. I want to commit to being more educated. That's great. For some people, they might say, well, I'm committed to take some steps. I've been motivated by my experience, and now I feel a little more fired up, and I'm going to do something, whether that's in the community or whether that's in their family or at work. We love that as well. For some people, their commitment might just be to be more vocal. Some people have told us they found their voice inside after the experience of Greenwood Rising. You know how it is. Some people are more vocal about subjects, and some people are just quiet. So for each individual person, there's no requirement to do this or that. The opportunity is what we like to talk about. We're an educational facility. We present stories and history, and we hope that people come through and that they're inspired to learn more and to take steps.
Yeah, so you're inspiring them, but you're also having a staff that can support them if they have that visceral reaction, right? Or they want to do something now, but they're not sure what the next step is.
Right. We've placed a lot of focus on ongoing staff training, from onboarding to 30-day check-ins to, we do a lot of supplemental training as well. I created a reading library for our staff. We have a bookstore there at the museum, and our staff are always to be found reading books. So love that environment. So we've got a staff reading library. You can just check out a book, read it, turn it back in. Somebody else checks it out. I just added a couple of books last week. So being able to continually learn is another thing that we support with our staff.
That's an important philosophy.
Being there for your team, you understand, being there for your team is required. You've got to be there for your team. We're doing this work every day, and sometimes it is challenging. So I'm really grateful for the staff, the employees, and leadership that we have.
That's good that you have a collaborative environment there, and I hope you have a collaborative and supportive environment all throughout Tulsa, right? And to bring it back to kind of the hospitality your staff provides, how does Greenwood Rising engage with local tourism partners to extend the guest experience beyond your walls?
Well, we've been fortunate to secure some good working partnerships with our tourism partners here in Tulsa. Tulsa Regional Tourism has been phenomenal support. We are engaged with them in multiple capacities. I used to work at Tulsa Regional Tourism, so I bring a tourism awareness, having worked at the chamber. So Tulsa Regional Tourism is helping us out in multiple ways. We are working more and more pursuing conference business, convention business. So let's say you're a convention, you're coming to Tulsa, maybe Visit Tulsa is helping you book the business, and Visit Tulsa refers the meeting planner over to us because the meeting planner expressed interest in a wider experience in Greenwood. I found myself playing tour operator almost, because these meeting planners are from out of state. They maybe have, 3,000 people coming in, late 2025, and they're booking the event, and they want to know, can I get box lunch for 150 people on Greenwood within walking distance of Greenwood Rising, and who's going to be the shuttle? And so supplementing what Tulsa Regional Tourism does almost, and also referring business to our community partners as well. There's walking tour operators that we work in partnership with. A lot of times conference groups, will do a bulk walking tour, and then they'll switch and come inside Greenwood Rising. Meanwhile, the group that started Greenwood Rising finishes up and goes on to the walking tour. So we're able to build out experiences for conference groups. So we've been working on having good success in that lane. We've taken the traditional routes, developing rack cards, getting rack cards to our hotel partners. And it's been really exciting because more and more hotels are wanting to come through. They're like, hey, my front desk agents get asked by guests sometimes about Greenwood Rising, and maybe my team can learn a little more about the facility. So we're cycling, these referral teams through our facility because it's important that the front desk agents can speak about Greenwood Rising on a conversational level, or at very least be able to give a rack card over.
Right, right.
So we're very appreciative of the tourism partners that we have, and we know that there's future growth. We just look at more and more visitors are coming to Tulsa, period. We'll talk about the stats again. So year over year, we looked at our numbers for the big events in Greenwood for the summer: Black Wall Street Rally, Legacy Fest, Juneteenth. Those are the three big community events in Greenwood, and they hit 1 month right after the next.
Right after another.
So it's a lot. It's a great time to be in the community. And so looking at our year-over-year numbers, we can see the growth. The festivals, are getting bigger.
Yeah, those peaks over the year, right?
The numbers are increasing.
From May to July.
We're really excited because it speaks to bigger growth. The various tourism entities, Tulsa Regional Tourism, the various chambers of commerce, the various stakeholders that work to bring visitors to Greenwood, it's working. We see it in our numbers. We see it in our visitor logs, and it's just an exciting time to be in the community because the growth is happening and we can see it.
That's amazing. So what would you say to those front desk staff, those frontline hospitality leaders? How can they better support this cultural movement and all of these people coming in, having those questions? What should they do with that?
Well, that's a great question, and I would invite any of our hotel partners, especially if you're of a certain size and you're getting, conference groups or convention groups and bookings. If you don't feel fully aware of Greenwood Rising, please reach out to me. I'd love to invite your team over for a guided tour of the facility. That would be number one. If you're in a hotel business, you sell rooms, but you sell Tulsa rooms. Knowing that people are in Tulsa because it's Tulsa. They're not at your hotel because it's your room. They're at your hotel because it's your room in Tulsa. So knowing that it's in the best interest of everybody to become more conversational about at least the key components of Tulsa. What's Black Wall Street? What is the Greenwood community? What is there to see? So number one, if you feel less than conversational about that, hit me up. We'll be glad to receive you guys, give you a tour, make connections. From there, the low-hanging fruit is, have our rack cards at your facility. And also just reach out to me. We know that in hotel world, deals are happening all the time. Conferences, conventions, hotel blocks, family reunions, weddings, events. You guys are always cooking up stuff and you have questions. Anything related to Greenwood that we can help you out with, even if it's a question that's not specifically related to Greenwood Rising, please reach out. Happy to help if I know. Give referrals if I know who to refer to. Yeah, we are a facility in Tulsa that has 40,000 guests a year. More than 60% of our guests come from out of state. So to all the hotel partners out there, we understand that customer is also potentially your customer. So there's partnership to be had. There's referrals to be made. And anything that I can help with, please reach out to me directly.
Well, we appreciate your accessibility to hoteliers and other tourism partners. And it's just like you said, it's a partnership. Your guest is our guest, and you're an ambassador for Tulsa and Greenwood Rising. And we need to be too, because we're guiding people around this city. We're telling them where to be. We're telling them what to experience. We need to experience it ourselves. So definitely encourage hoteliers to get out there. Give Chris a ring, shoot him an email. Maybe we'll put the link to your website in the show notes so they can reach out and get out there, because that's the important part, right? They experience it, they feel it, they know what to say from their heart to explain it to people and get them out there, get them in those stores.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you, Chris, taking the time to come out here, talk with us today and the larger community. And thank you so much for taking the time.
That wraps up the first part of our Lobby Talks cultural series. A big thank you to Chris Rogers, Operation Manager at Greenwood Rising, for sharing powerful insights into the experiences they're creating and how hospitality and tourism partners can work together to support meaningful cultural engagement in Tulsa. And the conversation continues. In our next episode, we will sit down with Meg Gold of FMAC Tulsa to explore the pulse of the city's creative scene, from art and music to film, and how it all connects to Tulsa's evolving cultural identity. You won't want to miss it. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Facebook for more behind-the-scenes moments. Thanks for listening.